going on, you guys? So I've recently been getting a lot of questions and comments on my videos asking some of the stuff that I love about my 86. I figured it'd be the perfect idea to make a what I love and dislike, or what I love and hate about my GR86. I wouldn't technically say I hate anything about this car. I just kind of wrote a few things down, chose some of the things that I kind of dislike about it. So what I'll do is I actually have an entire list on my phone right here of all the stuff that I've written down and thought for this idea. So what I'll do is I'll start getting into some of the stuff that I kind of dislike about it, because I feel like it would just be easy to get those out of the way with first, and then I'll get into some of the stuff that I love about this car. So what I want to get into first is actually the interior on this car. It's not so much that I don't enjoy the interior. Matter of fact, I actually quite like the interior a lot. I love how you can change the interface on the dash from whenever you change it from track mode to like normal driving mode. I feel like that looks great. In my opinion, the only thing I dislike about the interior is that there's no color or any like pizzazz to the interior at all. I feel like if this piece right here, right where the shift boot is, could have been carbon fiber, or pieces like that on the dash, or even just colors like from the exterior color on the inside, I feel like that just would have given the interior a lot more life, because the interior is where you spend most of your time at with your car. And I feel like when you have an amazing interior and when it looks great, it makes the car just feel so much nicer. Now, this is a base model GR86. This isn't the premium, so it doesn't have like the Alcantara on the doors and stuff like that. But all around, I mean, I don't really care too much for Alcantara and stuff like that. Like I said, this is all personal opinion. This can be, some people could love it, some people could hate it. I just love the way that it looks when you have some of the exterior color on the inside as well. I just feel like that looks amazing. While I'm already sitting here in the interior, the next thing that I actually wanted to get into was the fact that this car really doesn't have much room in it at all. As many of you may know, the GR86 or 86 platform in general has always been known to be a relatively small car. As you guys can see, I have these raised Graham-Light 57 CRs along with some BC Racing coilovers installed on the vehicle. When I went to go get the wheels and tires mounted, keep in mind the wheels were brand new, so they were still in the box, but I could fit about one box with like the wheel in it inside the trunk. I could fit, let me just show you guys this to give you a reference. I could fit about one box in here, another on the other side. And if I really wanted to, I could probably have squeezed the last wheel in here, but I decided not to just because it would have jammed on the side of the door. So I could fit about 3 wheels in here comfortably. Now, I've been told by other people beforehand that the GT86 is actually known to be able to fit all 4 wheels and tires in the car. I plan on taking this car to Sebring within this next couple months or so. So being able to have a spare set of wheels and tires in the vehicle, as long with some tools and stuff like that, is a definite must. So the next thing that I would say I somewhat dislike about this car is the fact that it's so new. Now, you may be wondering, Justin, why would you dislike that? Well, with every car, as many of you may know, there's always going to be some sort of issue with it. Some sort of recall, some sort of defect where you would have to bring the vehicle in to get serviced. Now, when you have a brand new car like this, you're pretty much going blind. You don't really know exactly what's to happen or what issues can come up with this car. A great thing to do would be like join forums or like a Reddit page or like a Facebook group dedicated to what car you have. That's what I've done personally. I've joined a couple Facebook groups, and you can just ask them stuff like, you know, if they've heard of any problems or if any of them experienced problems firsthand, stuff like that. So now let me get into the elephant in the room. You know, the question that everyone always asks, the question that everyone always asks me personally, is the car slow? Now, me personally, I wouldn't say that it's slow. In fact, I'd say it's pretty fast for what it is. I've raced a ton of cars in a straight line where this car is known not to be great at, and I've still beaten plenty of cars with even more horsepower than this thing has. At the end of the day, it's more of a power to weight ratio scenario for this car. For being completely stock, I would say this thing has the perfect amount of horsepower, and as time goes on, we can really see what this FA24 is really capable of. I've seen people already starting to turbocharge, supercharge, like give this car forced induction, and I've seen reasonable numbers. I've seen 400 plus horsepower out of these things already, so we could be expecting some pretty good numbers out of this FA24. So now let me get into some of the stuff that I feel is going to be a little bit easier, and it's some of the stuff that I love about my 2023 Toyota GR86. First things first, I just want to start off by saying this car is an absolute blast to drive. You know, no matter what time of the day it is, no matter where I'm going, what I'm doing, I can always get in this car and just have an absolute blast. You know, this car is super driver oriented. Even on stock suspension, this car was super easy when I was driving it and went through like sharp turns and bends and stuff like that. It's just ultimately all around a super fun car to drive. So the second thing that I would say I love about my GR86 is the aftermarket support that comes with the car. Now take that with a grain of salt, just because this car is still relatively new, and a lot of companies are still in the production for certain parts. But you know, as the months go on, more and more parts are coming out for this car. A great thing about the GR86 platform is that it has almost the identical structure to a GT86 and BRZ. So a lot of the parts made for the Gen 1, like wheels and suspension and exhaust and stuff like that, you could actually buy those parts and throw them on the new generation. It makes buying parts relatively easy for this thing now. I mean, besides for like some appearance modifications and stuff like that, like the side view mirrors and the vents and the front splitters and stuff like that, that would have to be made specific for the new generation. But for getting parts, it makes it a whole lot easier for this car. So the third thing that I want to get into about what I love about this car, and I kind of stated it a little bit beforehand, is the fact that this car is super fun and super easy to drive. Now this was actually my very first time ever owning my own manual car. I have driven manual cars previous to owning this car, but it makes it so easy for someone to get into for the first time and just, you know, learn how to drive manual. The clutch on this car is super light, super easy. It engages super quickly as well. So it makes it easy for someone to not learn, or for someone to learn where the clutch engages at, and helps them learn how to not stall. I work over at the Lexus, and compared to some of the other cars that I've driven, like I've driven WRXs, IS 250s, driven Mustangs, stuff like that. And compared to all those cars' clutches, every single time I get back into this car, it feels amazing. The clutch just feels great. Car feels great. Feels super light, super nimble. I love how the way this thing feels all around. So at the end of the day, these are some of the things that I'd say I love and somewhat dislike about my 2023 Toyota GR86. And if you're in the market to get an 86 BRZ, and if you're wondering whether or not you should or not, I would say you should 100% should. If all you care about is going fast and speed and stuff like that, then, you know, maybe this may not be the best car for you. I would say it has, like I stated before, it has just the amount of horsepower just to have some fun. And there's always room for forced induction to make this car faster. Like I said, it's completely stock, besides for the wheels, the coilovers, and the exhaust. So this car has so much potential to be greater than it already is. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of short, but I just wanted to come out here and make this video real quick, because I'm always getting questions all the time stating whether or not how I feel about the car, stuff like that. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a like down below. It means the absolute world to me. Subscribe if you guys are new, that way you guys can stay up to date on all the content that I be putting out. And leave a comment down below of what you guys would like to see next, because I always read all the comments. I always try to reply to all of them as well. So I always love getting your guys' feedback as to what you guys would like to see. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. So I don't know if you guys could hear from that last part of the video or not, but some sirens came on and a cop was in that parking garage while I did those pops, and he lit me up as soon as I did it. So I'm just hoping he doesn't pull me over now, because he's been following me ever since I left that parking garage.